This is my raw and unfiltered carnivore diet experience. Originally, the reason why I wanted to do this diet is because I've been doing the same diet for the last 18 years and I thought it'd be really interesting to try something new. I wanted to cleanse my body. I didn't think my microbiome was super healthy and I wanted to improve, and I thought carnivore diet was the best diet, as I've heard great things about it. I heard Joe Rogan talking about it and I'm like, well, if Joe Rogan's talking about it, I got to do some of my own research. So I researched it for maybe a week or so, looked at multiple different perspectives. I looked at like a more of an omnivore perspective, diet health, and yeah, that's more of a ketosis kind of diet, which I think is a good diet. Then I also looked into a plant-based diet, and it's full of crap, let's be honest here. And then carnivore diet, I thought, all right, well, I'm going to try it for a month. It's January World Carnivore Month. These are some concerns people have with the diet, and I'm just here to get rid of these concerns. So a lot of people say high fat's bad, and what I will say is watch my previous video, how saturated fats are demonized. That was the why you're fat video. But yeah, it's not really a concern. And the way people always look at health is through specific markers, which is really poor through these markers that may or may not mean that you're healthy or not. So for an example, there's a one with cholesterol, right? Your cholesterol marker, there's multiple different types of cholesterol, and at the end of the day, I don't think there's a correlation between having a heart attack and having high cholesterol, but there's no causation between there. I don't think high cholesterol straight away equals a heart attack. An unhealthy diet, not exercising, having lots of inflammation equals a heart attack or stroke. So one of the main things I thought was really interesting with the diet is that so many people, were curing their diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and not to say I've got any of these diseases or diabetes or anything like that. I thought if people that are seriously sick are being cured from just a diet, I wonder what positive effects it has on me. And there's been quite a few positive effects on me that I'm here to share with you guys. I really think the main thing I like about this diet is that it's like a high fat, high protein diet. And most diets have a lot of carbs, so pretty much this eliminated all carbs, pretty much all dairy. I mean, butter doesn't really count as dairy. A little bit of dairy. No carbs, no sugar, no crap, no grains. Just meat, eggs, a little bit of butter. That's it. That's what I wanted to try. And so far, I've been enjoying it, and I can definitely see the benefits, but there's been a few negatives that I dislike about it as well. So one of the main benefits I feel like is my energy. And my energy as an 18-year-old should be constant. I should be, as soon as I wake up to about 8 o'clock at night or something like that, I should just be full of energy for 12 hours. And before then, I was maybe energetic for 2 hours, then I'd be tired, and then maybe re-energize myself, but I wasn't really energized. But with this diet, I feel a lot more energized and more motivated to do stuff. And I think that's mainly down to the ketosis fact of it, that I'm using fat and I'm not using carbs. So what happens with carbs, even if you're having your high GI or low GI carbs, there's still going to be a spike in your energy levels. But with this, it's consistent all the way throughout because you're just using fat that's stored on your body. I think it's pretty interesting that we haven't done more research onto the benefits of a ketosis type diet. Obviously, there's one thing that I've always felt tired with, and it's a natural biological response after you eat food and stuff, is that you kind of feel a little bit unmotivated. And that's just a simple biological factor, is that your body's thinking, all right, I've eaten food, especially when you've eaten a good amount of food, because I break my fast around 12 o'clock. But once you've eaten a good amount of food, your body's thinking, all right, now I can relax now. I've done what I need to do. I've caught that animal as scent, or I've captured XYZ. I've done what my task is because I've eaten now. And that's usually a drop off for maybe an hour or so. But then I pick it back up and it's more so not tired. It's just I feel a little bit unmotivated, but I'm able to pick that back up when I start going again. I find it a lot easier to start going because I used to be not falling asleep. Sometimes I'd be falling asleep having a nap, but I feel so much better and I don't really need to do that anymore. So one of the main things I found is that my skin has improved dramatically. As an 18-year-old, you're kind of expected to have a few pimples. Usually I get anywhere between like 10 pimples a day, and that's pretty standard for most people. I know I might get some on my forehead here or around my mouth. I usually have a couple around my mouth, as you can see. These are some old pimples here, and I used to have a couple around like my foreheads and stuff like that, which is normal, right? That's normal for your diet. But after that, like you can see here on my forehead, I haven't got any new pimples, same as on the chin area. And I think it's really interesting that cutting out all this sugar and stuff has not promoted the growth of pimples, which I find is really interesting. And I wonder what people are like when they have a higher chance of pimples, whether it is down to diet and not genetics. As I know a few people I know had to go on Accutane, and I wonder if there's a correlation between what they were eating and the amount of pimples they were getting. But right now I don't have any, and for the last 3-4 years I've been getting the consistent same amount. Sometimes I might have an outbreak if I've eaten lots of sugary processed foods, but I just find that really interesting, and my skin feels amazing. It feels like really clear and oily. That's how it should be feeling. Like, it feels great. One of the main things that has always annoyed me is that my nose, right? So my nose usually is like a runny nose, and it's the consistency of me having to blow my nose every 2 hours or struggle to breathe through my nose because there's all mucus stuck in there. And it hasn't completely gone away. When I wake up in the morning, I sometimes need to blow my nose, and maybe every now and then I need to blow my nose, but it's pretty much gone, I'll be honest. Yeah, it always pissed me off before because I have to go grab a tissue. This is not even when I'm sick or anything. It's just a constant thing that I've had for the last however long I can remember. I've always had to blow my nose. And I feel like with this diet, it's really eliminated it, and it puts in perspective the effect of that sugar and stuff has on my diet. And that's likely caused from the, what's it called? Like snot in my nose and stuff. I used to think it was dairy. I tried, adding like cheese and stuff in my diet, and it didn't like automatically affect it. It might have a small correlation with cheese and stuff or dairy products, but so much better. I can breathe great through my nose. I will say another really great feeling with this carnivore diet is the mental clarity that you get. I often feel like when you're having a high carb diet or whatever, your brain's kind of like, you're not all the way there. And not to say like being stupid or anything, your brain's just a lot slower and not high functioning. There's like a lot of things that my brain's just like doing in the background that it normally wouldn't be doing, just like thinking a few steps ahead. And it's keeping me motivated and kind of like off my phone a bit more, because usually I'd be like a zombified person just scrolling on my phone, and I don't feel the need to do that anymore. I just find that really interesting with diet. It's likely due to the energy levels, but another really good thing about the carnivore diet is that I don't feel like a zombie almost, or I don't feel like slow in the head at all. I feel a lot more mentally clear. Another great thing is, I'd say most people I know, they kind of have a caffeine addiction, and that's kind of brought up through society. And I'm usually pretty good with caffeine. Maybe I have like 2 or 3 green teas a week, but I've had about 1 green tea a week, and that was the other day because I worked out and then I was going to catch up with my friends, etc. So it was a really busy day, so I kind of need a little bit more energy. But the simple fact is, I don't feel tired at all. I don't really feel the need of having energy, and obviously drinking caffeine's like borrowing your energy. You're going to feel worse later. So I guess that is a great effect of the carnivore diet, is that you're just consistent throughout. And I'm saying tea is good. There's a lot of benefits with tea, but I don't need to drink any more green tea. I don't have to have coffee or an energy drink or any of that crap. And I just feel way more energetic, and it's great. Another thing I'll say is my stomach has been feeling amazing. And I'm not really talking about like everything here, but like I haven't really needed to pass gas much. And as well, like my stomach's never, like sometimes when I'd eat foods, you kind of get like a stomach cramp and you feel like crap. But I don't really feel like that at all. And when I've been going to the toilet, it's less than normally because I haven't been eating as much fiber. So all the food I'm eating is actually being used, and maybe like 10% that can't be used is just being pooped out. But I've gone like 3 times in a week, which is pretty normal for the carnivore diet, and it's pretty healthy. And it's not that I'm constipated or anything like that. It's just all the food that I've been consuming is actually being used and not actually just wasted. I'll say another thing I found important, especially for me, my sleep is pretty solid compared to the rest of 18-year-olds that I know. I'd say I'm in the top 10%, let's just say. I usually get 8.5 hours of sleep. I'm usually in bed by no later than 11 unless I've been out doing activities or whatever. But now I used to get about 8.5 hours of sleep to 9 hours depending on the day, the amount of exercise. Now it's consistently 9 hours, which is great. That's what I should be aiming to get, is 9 hours of sleep, as it's the most optimal amount of sleep that you need, especially when you're still, I'd say, still kind of growing in some aspects, but that's how many hours of sleep you should have. You shouldn't have 6 hours of sleep, and it's good quality sleep. My REM sleep score is improved. I've got my Whoop here, which is great for tracking all that stuff. So another great benefit with this is the price. So most people are thinking, oh, carnivore diet's going to be like super expensive. At the end of the day, it costed anywhere $15 to $20 a day for me, and that's eating like 2,000 calories, like around 200 grams of protein, give or take 500 calories, give or take 20 grams of protein. But you go out in Adelaide, you spend like $30 on a meal. This is Australian dollars, so it's probably around 10 to 15 US dollars, which is, it's probably cheaper over there to buy a meal, buy like meat and stuff. But it is pretty cheap. Most diets, most of the time, you're going to be spending anywhere between, I'd say, $10 and $15 if you're having a well-balanced diet. But that is just for food, because people also buy snacks and stuff like that. So when you think about it, it's pretty standard, and you're having a high quality of food, and you're getting your macros in, and they're all good macros. So it's a really good benefit about it. Now I'm going to talk about the negatives with the carnivore diet and the stuff that I dislike. The one thing I heavily dislike with this diet is the distinct lack of taste. And obviously, I'm adding salt, I'm adding butter. The first few days, I wasn't adding any spices. I didn't have any paprika, cayenne pepper, all that stuff. And, it wasn't bad. I could get through it for a couple of days. But now, even adding the stuff in, you realize how much you miss carbs. And I realize how much I'm like craving food, certain foods, but that's gone away a little bit. But it is nice. Like, my mates were eating chips the other day, and I'm like thinking, oh dude, I'd love these chips right now. They would be amazing. But willpower, got over the line, didn't have to eat any of them. But yeah, it's the distinct lack of taste that is limited with the carnivore diet. And obviously, I'm sure you can do certain alternatives, but sugar tastes amazing. We all know that sugar is highly addictive, and it's my body slowly getting off the need of sugar, which is really good. I'm proud of myself for that, and it's another benefit of the carnivore diet, is that you're slowly decreasing your sugar addiction. So this is probably the main negative that I'm finding, is that because I'm eating just like protein and fat, I have no glycogen stored in my body. And you're probably wondering, what's glycogen? So glycogen's kind of like your quick energy that's stored around your muscles and stuff like that. And, it's really helpful when you're doing activities and stuff, you're doing sports, when you're working out. So when I was working out the other day, I felt a little bit of a decrease in energy, because there wasn't enough glycogen in my body. And glycogen is kind of your quick like energy that's going to get you through. It's that energy that's going to get you through your workout. It's going to get you through this. But without it, it's more difficult. And the intensity you can put into your workouts, I felt mine was pretty similar. Mine just took longer. I had to rest longer, which I was fine with because my body was still adjusting to it. But when I did my run the other day for the park run, that was extremely hard for me. The weather was about 30 degrees with about 80% humidity or something crazy. It was super humid, but I was struggling with no glycogen. And I feel like you need glycogen to run, because your body isn't burning fat fast enough to create the energy for you to run. And that's a little bit annoying for me, because I could potentially be doing the diet for a long time. And if I can't, do running and stuff, or I'm going to struggle, it's kind of annoying, and it's a little annoying about the diet. Another thing I'll say, when you have no glycogen, is your muscles appear smaller. And if you understand what I mean by this, is that your glycogen stored around your muscles. So for me, I was about 80 kilos when I started, so it's usually about give or take 1 to 1.2 grams of glycogen per kilo of weight. So I'll just round up and say a kilo of glycogen around my body, around my muscles. And with the glycogen, since glycogen's carbohydrate, it means it's hydrated by water. So for every 1 gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water is stored. So technically, with that, I've lost around 4 to 5 kilos of water and glycogen, which is another thing with this diet. I'm down to about 74 kilos in a week when I was about 79, 80. Most of it's going to be glycogen, but I'd say around a kilo is going to be fat. My physique is looking a lot more slimmer. Like my abs are looking a lot nicer. I don't really even need to tense the top 2 for them just to appear. They're just appearing through without tensing when I'm standing up, which is quite good. Like definitely recommend this if you're trying to cut or anything. But that's another negative thing, is that if I'm on this for a long time, my muscles will appear smaller, and that's kind of frustrating when you're trying to maximize your physique. Another annoying, I wouldn't say negative, but kind of annoying, is you got to increase your water intake. And most people are really bad with water. I'm pretty good. I drink anywhere between usually around 3 liters of water a day, which is pretty standard. And the issue with this is because there's really not much water in any of the food that I consume. So the water I'm getting, I'm just gonna have to drink, because there's usually water in fruit, in vegetables, etc. And most people get quite a lot of their water from the food that they eat, hence why they're not dehydrated when they only drink 1 liter of water. But with this diet, people may struggle to drink. I can usually tell when I feel dehydrated, like I feel a little, I wouldn't say lightheaded, but I can feel dehydrated. And I just got to increase the amount of water I'm consuming, which some people might find annoying. This is the real reason why I'm going to be stopping the diet. I didn't think I was going to stay on this carnivore diet forever, and obviously I'm probably going to do around another week or 2 of this diet, just seeing how I feel and just going on and on with it. I'll do a video afterwards after I'm off the diet, but currently it feels good. Like, don't get me wrong, nothing bad. I can't really knock it. It's probably better diet than 90% of what, or 95% of what everyone else eats. But for me, as a fit 18-year-old who's doing regular exercise, working out, it's probably not the most ideal exercise, as I need carbohydrates. But what I'll be taking away from this is having a ketosis style diet, is that I'll be intermittent fasting from when I wake up to about 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then eating at around 6 to 7. I think that's the main takeaway I can take away from this. Another thing, it's quite difficult to be sociable. Obviously, when I'm out with mates and stuff, if we were to catch up and go grab some dinner, I can't really eat anything, so that's not really sociable. Same thing with drinking alcohol, obviously, because there's carbohydrates in alcohol. I haven't really drunk any alcohol, which is good, but like, I still enjoy drinking. I would be recommending this diet to anyone who wants to lose weight fast, easily, and can eat as much as they want and feel satiated the whole time, because you're in a constant state of ketosis. I don't think you'll be eating like more than 3,000 calories of meat. I struggle to eat over 2,000 because I feel satiated. But most people, if you're like 110 kilos, a lot of people online say this is the best diet for losing weight and keeping it off in the long term, and you can slowly add in like more vegetables and stuff if you're concerned about not having enough vegetables, but it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Another thing with this diet is, look, if I was 50 years old, like my parents' age, or if I was a bit older and my body was starting to struggle with doing things like running or exercising and stuff like that, this is probably where I'd go for the carnivore diet, as it's more of a youthful longevity diet. But at the age of 18, that's not really my concern right now. My concern is to be healthy, to be longevity, but I don't really want to miss out on the best parts of my life, for the simple fact is that I'm eating, just meat. And food's amazing, I will say that, and I love food. I've always loved food. Luckily, I'm skinny. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's good to talk about, and hopefully I've helped someone out here, enlighten them with their choices with diet. And anyways, the next video is just going to be on the Netflix documentary on you are what you eat, and I will be crapping all over that. Anyways, guys, see you in the next video. Bye.